U.S. senators urge feds to alert police to threats towards election people. Washington. An institution of Democratic U.S. senators this week urged federal law enforcement businesses to alert neighborhood police to growing threats towards election officers, consistent with a memo visible by way of on Thursday. The onslaught of threats towards election people is unacceptable and increases serious issues about country and neighborhood government's potential to recruit and retain election employees needed to administer future elections. Democratic Senators Amy Klobuchar and Dick Durbin instructed the federal organizations on Wednesday in the previously unreported memo. Klobuchar and Durbin had been joined by way of 20 different Democratic senators asking the Department of Homeland Security and the Federal Bureau of Investigation to distribute a public provider declaration to neighborhood and nation police about expanded threats towards election workers, in keeping with the memo. We have heard that during many instances while election officers report threats, local regulation enforcement corporations deal with them as isolated incidents, in preference to as a part of a developing nationwide trend, the senators said. A DHS spokesperson said it has enhanced collaboration with government partners by sharing well-timed and actionable data on threats. The FBI confirmed it acquired the memo. At current Senate hearings, elections officers have testified approximately a rise in threats following the 2020 election. These threats have persisted against me and others, said Arizona Secretary of State Katie Hobbs, who changed into assigned a safety detail after receiving a barrage of threats from supporters of former President Donald Trump. Election people are on the receiving end of abusive smartphone calls and emails, nearly regular, she said. In a series of investigative reviews, documented an unprecedented wave of terroristic threats towards the frontline employees of American democracy, inspired through Trump's fake claims that the 2020 election become stolen. In all, the news organization documented greater than 900 threats and harassing messages in opposition to election directors in 17 states. After pronounced the enormous threats towards election people closing June, the U.S. Department of Justice launched a undertaking pressure to research threats in opposition to election body of workers. So a long way, the challenge pressure has introduced arrests. In Wednesday's memo, the senators additionally requested federal corporations to remind election officials of the federal resources available to them for reporting and mitigating threats. Last month, the Federal Election Assistance Commission voted to make bigger the usage of federal money for election employees via permitting them to use price range for non-public protection offerings and social media hazard monitoring.